Game like this, early you lose Jimmy. You're obviously facing a tough defense. As a team, how do you kind of handle that as far as next man up, trying to get everybody to pick up that slack?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a team we're built to kind of be able to do that. I think we just it was just a little bit frustrating on the defensive end. Just felt like we really couldn't get in a rhythm, put a couple stops together.
Now, their defense obviously is one of the best in the league. There were times where you guys were having trouble, but you yourself were finding good spots and hitting their shots. What was it? What did you kind of get to that you liked tonight, even against a tough defense?
I think I was just taking open shots, really, whenever they came to me. And then, just specifically, as right now, just the way that they guard me, I can turn the corner a few times, things like that, maybe where they're expecting me just to kind of get off the ball. So, just taking advantage of those opportunities, just trying to take easy looks.
You mentioned the defense on your end as a team. Those momentary lapses, those moments where teams do have that success, how do you kind of nip that? What are some of the things you can look at and say, okay, this is the spots where we have to be a little tougher defensively?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just have to do a better job of finding ways to be disruptive, whether that's being in the gaps, trying to surprise them with different things, different coverages, things like that. I think we just have to do, just communicate a little bit better, and I think we're definitely capable of it.
But I guess it was Jaime that accidentally sort of clocked you. What happened there in the moment?
I got hit. I don't really know how to answer that. I got hit, and I started leaking, so I went to the back.
7 stitches sounds like a lot. What is that like with they say, okay, you got to get 7 stitches, you're going back in the game. What's that mentality when you're in just kind of that process of getting stitched up to get in the game?
I mean, I'm one of those people, I don't really like needles, so it's kind of rough for me in the beginning. But, if you love the game enough, and obviously I do, and I love being out there with my teammates, you go through stuff like that.
Defensively, they're obviously, you knew going in the challenge they'd be. What was it that they were able to do defensively that at times, things were a little bit tougher to come by? Was it just kind of what you expected? Were you getting the looks as a team, or just the combination of their defense and what you were able to do?
I think we was getting the looks we wanted. We was just missing. I think we were careless with the ball. Emphasis on me. But it's we got another one tomorrow. Can't harp on this, and gotta get out there and try and get this W tomorrow.
When you play a team like this with such a stout defense, are there lessons to be taken out of it? That a team that this sort of tough, that the precision has to be their more cleaner game, things like that?
I mean, we just get through our stuff, and I feel like we'll be fine.
How much changed stylistically with Jimmy going out? I mean, did you feel all of a sudden it felt like, whoa, halfway through the first quarter and we're in Plan B? What was that like when you learned Jimmy was out?
I mean, we next man up. We check on him at halftime, but we got to figure this thing out. You can't harp on who's in, who's out. It's about going out there and trying to get the W.
How would you describe the challenge of you guys were doing a good job on the rebounds for the most part tonight, but lost some timely ones in the end? How would you describe such a close game and balancing the possession battle?
Man, we gotta realize that that matters. You can't just watch the rebound. You gotta block out and go get the rebound.
Tyler, we know defensively they do things so well. The three-point shooting tonight, in particular, was it more a case of that defensive combination? Were you getting the looks you wanted from three?
I think it was the defense. They did a really good job, pressuring the ball, making things tough on us, taking us out of our, initial action. They did a really good job on that end for sure.
You guys are used to it. If a guy goes down, have to pick up the slack. When Jimmy goes down very early in the game, how did that change everything and just kind of everybody, next man up kind of mentality to try to pick up that slack?
Yeah, that's next man up.
Your thoughts on Bam just pushing through the way he did? I saw when he came back, you sort of took a look at his eye, nodded your head, and then went back at it. What does that just say about him, that it's going to take more than 7 stitches to keep him out of a game?
I mean, that's what makes Bam Bam. He's able to, impact the game in so many ways, and then he gets hurt or he gets his, eye split open, and he's able to get back here, get stitches, and jump right back in the game. It shows how much he loves, the game. He wants to be out here to help us win, and that's what you want out of your captain.
Obviously, and certainly not know if you'll have Jimmy tomorrow night, but it's a quick turnaround. How do you kind of erase this one, move forward to Orlando?
I mean, we're already on to it. We got to, flight in about an hour, get to Orlando, get some rest, and be ready to roll tomorrow.
Tyler, I'm sure there were shots you wanted to hit, but was this a good test for you individually, playing against an elite defense like that and showing what your new approach can do against a team like that?
Yeah, I felt good. Felt good out there.
You mentioned before the game that they want to defend a lot like you do. How did you guys feel their defense, and what did it do to your offense tonight?
I mean, that's a very good defense. So are we, and I think this was probably a throwback game, just in terms of how many efforts were made on both sides of the floor. But they're active when you have open windows. You have to be able to attack and take advantage of them, or they're gone. And that's the best thing that happens if they're gone. The worst thing is it can be a deflection steal, which they did that a handful of times. But, for the most part, I thought we managed that in terms of, some of the finer points of execution that certainly could have been better, but doing it on the fly without Jimmy, you just got to do whatever you have to do, try to get it to a possession game. We were pretty close to that. There were some swing moment possessions, offense and defense, both ends of the court, the last 3-4 minutes that it could have gone more in our favor. That's the unfortunate thing.
Jimmy, I guess, showed up ill, so was there a thought that you might have to go to Plan B?
I'm not thinking any other thought. No, if guys say they can go, we're going, right now.
You guys did a good job for the most part on the boards tonight, but late in the game, OKC was able to get some timely rebounds.
Yeah.
How
there wasn't like your typical beat you up on the glass. It was scrambling around, which Alexander has a way of manipulating the defense where you got a couple guys there, you're in rotation, and then there ends up being a long rebound, and that's the one, that obviously people are saying, "Oh, block out." You're not body to body on a lot of those, but those are those winning, defining plays. That if you come up with those, now you have an opportunity going down the other end, and those were really deflating plays after long possessions of scrambling around.
Bam's fortitude, 7 stitches above the eye to still come back, give you that double-double, show up at the end, make the game close. Just your thoughts on what he did to get himself back and to push through to the end.
Yeah, he's tough. You had no doubt that he was going to work his way back in there. If he could have just put a Band-Aid on there during the timeout, he would have gone back at that point. That's probably why we were able to keep them. Actually, but there were a lot of good defensive performances. It wasn't just Bam, but Bam allows you to do a lot of different things. At the end, we had him on Williams, and then he was still able to come back and get some key rebounds. That's just the kind of toughness that he brings.
So part of the reason Thunder are so good on defense is the way they affect three-point shooting. What did they do to kind of affect the quality of the three-point shots tonight?
Well, they have great closing speed, for sure. They disrupt some of your passing timing. They can barrel through screens, better than most teams. We did have some opportunities. It wasn't going to be a game where we shot 53s, but we did have some open looks. And when you're playing against a team like this, you probably have to capitalize on a few more of those. I look at it more like, can you generate some open looks? And they had us jammed up for sure. Some possessions, other possessions, I thought we've made some progress. You can definitely see that we're able to generate things in our wheelhouse.
There was in the second half, there were a couple stretches where Shea or Jalen they could just pull up and just get almost anything they wanted in mid-range. And I was just wondering the challenge behind being able to contain them when they're just being able to dribble, drive, and just draw attention from the defense.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that they can do at all three levels. They can play make. Alexander also can draw fouls as good as anybody, so you have to be really, really disciplined. But everybody has to be on alert, code red, and you have to make some plays. And we did. He's a great player, so you're not going to hold a guy like that down to 15 points. But you got to scramble around, hopefully keep their team average down. We did that for the most part, but we weren't able to put points on the board. All right, thank you.